Shabbat Shalom, Israel. First off, giving our praise to Yahweh and to His Son, Yahweh Shah. We are the Battle Axes of the Most High, coming to you with another Sabbath class. Shabbat Shalom to brothers and sisters that's online. Today's class is Riots, Uproars, and Divisions of the People. Riots, uproars, and divisions of the people. But like we're saying, we're seeing the things that's transpiring with Trump and his fanatics out there, you know, with the protests at the U.S. Capitol last week. And like we said, we'll be going through the scripture showing that these things are prophecies in the Bible. And then guess what? They must come to pass. Christ was warning us that guess what? No one of these shall fail. So these things must come to pass. And like we tell brothers and sisters, frankly, we want these things to come to pass. We want to see Esau tear each other apart, because they have used division against us for so long that the Most High God said He gonna render vengeance unto them. He gonna pay them back twice-fold. So I would say, don't be worried about these things. Stay strong in the spirit. Give me this first precept, Sirach chapter 39 and verse 1. Stay strong in the spirit and stay in the scriptures. Like we tell brothers and sisters, we go over these classes to give brothers and sisters comfort of the scriptures, to give them the outcomes of things that's coming to pass. Hold fast to that which is good. Keeping the commandments, meditating on the scriptures, brothers and sisters will be all right. You all right?
Yeah.
Sam. Read that right quick out.
Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High.
He said, but he that giveth his mind to the Most High, to the law of the Most High. Meaning you constantly meditating on the commandments, constantly applying them to your everyday life. You have to be able to give your mind over to the law. Read on.
And is occupied in the meditation thereof.
When it talks about the meditation, it means you're thinking and reverencing upon the commandments. That's all that you're doing. It's not going into some deep theological something or what Tina Turner was doing. No, it's not going into that. Read on up.
Will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients.
And you will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients. The wisdom of the ancients is the scriptures, the things that was written aforetime. These things was written for our learning. Read on up.
And be occupied in prophecies.
And that's the point. And be occupied in prophecies. You understand the scriptures, because guess what? The Most High God is giving us heads up on things that's finna transpire. Like He always tells us. Matter of fact, let's get there right quick. Give me Isaiah chapter 49. Then we're gonna come back to that. Isaiah 40. No, so like Isaiah 42 and verse 9. Because we have to constantly be occupied in the prophecies. The prophecies lets us know what's going to happen in the future. That's how we know that the Bible is a true book. No other book on the planet Earth is going to be able to do this. Not the Quran, not the Epics of Gilgamesh, not the Book of Enoch. These things ain't going to profit us anything. The book of Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 9. Read that out.
Isaiah 42 and 9. Behold, the former things are come to pass. And new things do I declare.
And new things do Christ declare. Read on up.
Before they spring forth, I tell you.
Read that last part again out.
Before they spring forth, I tell you.
I love this scripture right here, because the Most High God is giving us heads up on things that's going to happen before they even happen. No other book can do that. He said before they spring forth, He tells us of them. So we know about the uproars of the people. We know about all these riots that's going to transpire. Guess what? It's going to get worse and worse. Brothers and sisters got to understand that. They thinking 2021 gonna be any better. They thinking just because Biden in office is gonna get better. No, these things is gonna get worse and worse. Like we say, America is done for, man. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, man, while keeping and applying the commandments. Let's go back to Sirach 39 and 1. Read that from the top again.
Book of Sirach chapter 39 verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof.
Because these things go synonymous with each other. You need to be occupied in the commandments, and you need to be thinking about the commandments. Only with those two things can you understand the prophecies that's coming up out of the book. That's why we tell brothers and sisters, when you read, make sure that you read with understanding, seeing things that's transpiring in the world and correlate it with the Bible. These things are very, very important to take notes, to get the understanding that brothers is bringing out, because we're giving you a heads up on things that's going on. Read on up.
Will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients.
And the wisdom we know is what? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
And be occupied in prophecy.
And occupied in prophecies. Like we say, a prophecy is what? Telling something in the past and it comes to fulfillment in the future. Like how we go over the scriptures with the brothers in Camp 101, learning to pull out prophecies that have been fulfilled and things to come. Give me the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 35. You know, for Christian apologists that say that the Apocrypha ain't canon, meaning it's not ordained in the Gospels, or so to speak, like how they always saying. But guess what? It's saying the same thing that the scriptures is saying. Ezra, the Most High God gave Ezra much insight on things that was going to come to pass in the future, because Ezra cared for his people. When you get there, read that out.
2nd Ezra 16:35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord.
Ye what?
Ye servants of the Lord.
What brother know the precept? Who are the servants of the Most High? We got that precept.
44 and 21.
Say it again, huh?
Isaiah 44 and 21.
Isaiah 44 and 21. All praise, huh? That's one of them. It's plenty of them. I would say you got Leviticus what? 25 verse 55. Like I said, Isaiah 44.
21.
Yeah, these are some of these precepts. We want brothers to be quick on these precepts, because, like I say, when Christians read these things, well, we know they ain't reading the Apocrypha no way. But whenever we know they'll dip and dab into it, but they thinking when they see the service of the Lord that it's talking about everybody. But no, that's why you have to go to a precept to understand who the servants are. Everybody is not a servant of God. I would say Mother Teresa, she is not no damn servant of the Most High God. The Pope, he is not a servant of God. Only the Israelites are the servants of the Most High God. Read that from the top again, huh?
2nd Ezra 16:35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord.
Read on up.
Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it.
The scriptures, Ezra is giving us insight to what? To behold the word of the Lord, receive it. When it talks about the word is going into the laws, but it's also going into what? Sirach 39 and 1. Behold the prophecies that's in the scriptures. Because guess what? Like we said, these things are not going to fail. We're seeing these things transpire every day. Read on up.
Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake.
Read that again up.
Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake.
And the Most High God said, don't believe Sebo. Don't believe Allah. Don't believe these guys of whom he spake, because guess what? He warned us of these false gods that's out here, that's giving us not according to the Bible. They're speaking of a thing out of their own heart. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. Because when we go into these other gods, that puts the curses on us, and then we can't see clearly. That's why a lot of our people, they don't know what's going on out here. You know, they spiritually blind, and a lot of times they physically blind as well too. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. Read that out.
Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Even what?
Even wood and stone.
Nathan, y'all, what's the wood?
A cross.
Be more specific. The cross in what?
Christianity.
Exactly. In Christianity. What is the wood, Brother Shana?
The copperstone.
The cobblestone in what?
Islam.
Exactly. These are the main two religions that our people are constantly in, man, as a majority of the people, man. Us, like we say, you see brothers all the time, man. I'm in Islam, brother. Where you learn it at? In jail? Come on, brother. Like the Most High God is giving you the understanding. A lot of times our people reject these things because I'm knowing Most High waking up Israelites in them jail cells too. You know, shout out to brothers that's reaching out to brothers up in them, up in the jails and so forth, because they got to get this truth too. You know, these things is very, very important. They may be of the elect. You never know. You know, so these things is very important. You got some else? Read on. 336 again. Oh, no, we finished with 64.
Yeah.
Let's go back to 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 36. So the Most High God warned us about these guys because they're not going to tell us how we got into this position, and more importantly, how to get up out of this position. The only book that tells us these things is the Bible. You get to read that out.
2nd Ezra.
Still trying to find it.
2nd Ezra 16 and 36. Behold, the word of the Lord receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh.
Read that again.
Behold, the plagues draw nigh.
The Most High is giving us a warning that guess what? The plagues are drawing nigh. The plagues is going into uproars and riots of the people, and more importantly, it's going into what else? Say it again, yeah, that's one of them. But what is the main one where he gonna bring judgment? The main plague. Brother should know this. Y'all are,
Thermonuclear power.
that's right. Thermonuclear warfare, nuclear war, World War III. That is the main plague that is drawing nigh. These things is, we seeing, even when you look on the news, you seeing Iran making more and more centrifuges. Centrifuges is what they use to produce the energy that they put in the nuclear weapons. You seeing North Korea, they making nuclear submarines, trying to get their hands on more and more nuclear weapons. You seeing Russia improving on what they already developed. Like we said, they got a missile called Satan II that can blow Texas off the map. These nuclear weapons are thousands of times more powerful than the one that they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So these are the plagues that the Most High God is talking about, man. Things that's gonna be able to melt fervent heat. These weapons is no joke, Israel. So a lot of times, even when we pull out scriptures, sometimes we got to pull scriptures out to put fear on brothers and sisters, man, to get their minds right. Sometimes we have compassion, like we read in Jude chapter 1 verse 22. But sometimes, guess what? We got to let our people know what it is, man. We got to put the fear of the Most High in them, because when we go outside these doors, they do not have the fear of God on them, man. They thinking they could just do whatever they want, act any way that they want, and they ain't gonna receive no judgment for that thing, man. But that's not according to the scriptures. You got something else? Read on.
Verse 38. And when a woman.
Read verse 37 again.
37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack.
They are not slack, Israel. Because a lot of times, you know, matter of fact, let's get there. Give me 1 Peter's. 2 Peter, Salaka. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. Verse 9, Salaka. These plagues are not slack, because a lot of times, slack meaning it's not going to fall through. You know, you had that brother in the hood say he going to do something, never come through. Sister that say something, that never come through. Guess what? The Most High God's word is not like that, man. He's going to hold true to these words, and these things is not going to slack. Read this,
2 Peter 3 and 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
Read that again,
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise.
His promises is going into, guess what? The covenants, the glory, all these things what? Pertain to Israel. It's not pertain to no other nation. So the Most High God is going to hold true to his word. Read on.
As some men count slackness.
Because a lot of times our people, man, hey, we count slackness, man. Read on,
But is long suffering to us, not willing that any should perish.
But he's long suffering, because the Most High God, he don't want us to perish. But he will kill our behinds, man. Like, he's not going to play. He's giving us an opportunity. That's why he sent Christ to give us grace, to have that opportunity. That's what long suffering is according to the Most High God. Go ahead, Doc. Yes, sir. Read on.
But that all should come to repentance.
Read that again, Doc.
But that all should come to repentance.
Now, Christians will see that, forget everything in 2 Peter 1 verse 1, 1 Peter 1 verse 1, and just pull that little word all in, because they want to graft everybody in. Forget what the Bible say, forget what it's been talking about from Genesis. We in Peter's, now it's talking about everybody. Well, what about Genesis to Peter's when it was only talking about the Israelites?
Right.
When it's talking about all men, it's talking about all men of Israel, man. Brothers cannot get that twisted, because what is repentance? Who got a scripture for repentance? Say it again, Brother Sammy. Acts 3:19. Repentance. That's what repentance is. The laws was only given to Israelites, so therefore we the only ones that can repent. Read on up. Yeah, read verse 10.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
So guess what? The Most High God is not letting you know when he's going to actually drop those nuclear bombs. He's just giving us insight that it's on its way. Because you know how Negroes is. Most High telling me he coming at 12 o'clock, you going to sin up until 11:59. Thinking that you going to just skip your way up into the kingdom. No, man. Stop it, man. Read on up.
But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
That boom. Read on.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and the works that are therein, shall be burned up.
Shall be what?
Shall be burned up.
Read on up.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
He says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, meaning coming to pass, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy convocation? In all holy conversations. Making sure that, guess what? Our conversations is in the spirit. Not belittling brothers and sisters, not talking down on brothers and sisters, but guess what? Lifting brothers and sisters up. Showing them examples on how to be by how you carry yourself according to the scriptures. Most High God is looking at these things, man. It says, with all holy conversations and godliness. Godliness is going back to what? How you keeping the commandments. How you diligently keeping the commandments. Not want to put in the work some weeks, then don't put it in the other weeks. Not want to do something 1 month and then fall back another month. Brothers got to make themselves, guess what? Diligent in the truth, man. Because this is the only way to really grow in the truth, man.
And this whole Bible is set up for us to see. He like, I'm finna do something. You better get yourself right. And he like basically giving us the answers to the test. Like, look, you want to pass this test? Here go the answers. You can pass it if you want to, or you can fail it. You can pass it. The whole Bible. You can pass it. You can fail it. You can pass it. You can fail it. It's giving us opportunity, man. Because like I'm going into, man, this world ain't going back to where it was. Because it's gonna get worse and worse until destruction come to this earth, man. So it's pivotal that, brother, like your conversation, your everyday, the way you carry yourself, the way you treat people, the way you talk, all these things must be in check when the Most High sent his son back, man.
Let's go back to 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 38. Yeah.
2 Ezra 16 and 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son.
So the Most High God is comparing the plagues that he's bringing on the planet Earth to a woman that's giving birth. Read on up.
Within 2 or 3 hours of her birth.
So it's going into the 9th month. You know, when the 9th month, sister is ready to pop, or so to speak. Read on.
Within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb.
Read that part again up.
Great pains compass her womb.
So when the sister is going into her 9th month, great pains compares her wounds. The Most High God is comparing the 9th month to the end of days. So as we get closer and closer to the end of days, things is going to do what? get worse and worse. Read on up.
Which pains when the child cometh forth. They slack not.
They
a
do
moment.
what?
They slack not.
So
a
she
moment.
may have the, what do you call it, sister? The
Epidural?
no, the contractions. So as the baby get closer, the contractions get more and more painful. So that's what the Most High God is comparing this to. I know sisters can relate to this for sure. Read on.
They slack not a moment.
They slap what?
They slack not a moment.
So as the baby get closer, that thing boom, 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 until the baby come on out. Read on out.
Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth.
He's telling us, even so, meaning what? The same way the plagues is going to be the same way on the planet Earth, man. We already seen what happened last week. Look, why do you think they preparing for what? For the inauguration this week or next week on Wednesday? They know him because ultimately Esau know who he is. He knows that he's the original Neanderthal. He knows that he is truly the vandal. You know, these people bring corruption upon corruption if things is not going their way. And you're going to see uproars of the people. You see them going at their own people. And you know damn well that most of those police officers up in there were Trump supporters, man. Read on up.
And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it.
The world is in mourning even right now. Because they saying that that's why they got the Capitol locked down. All 50 capitals in the United States is on lockdown, man. That's mourning right there, man. Look like martial law out there. Read on.
The world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
On what?
On every side.
On every side, man. Brothers and sisters is not going to be able to hide from this thing unless you hide in the laws, man. That's it. That is our only protection. That's why we stress these things. That's why the Bible stress these things.
Yeah, man. Cause I ain't never met a sister that said, "Oh no, I ain't got no problem doing pregnancy." No, they might have said the second one was easier than the first or something, but you best believe they had pain.
Guess what? That second one was just as hard as the first.
Yeah, she just coped with it. But that's like knowing like I saying, that's just the Most High crafted with this. Like in 9 months, she getting ready to start conceiving. She gonna start feeling pain. Well, we already know what seal we in, so it's great that we need to know what seal we in, and people need to know because the pain's about to come, and they coming right now. Like I said, COVID-19, everything that's happening. What the white girl say, it's a revolution. It's a revolution. Yeah, so we just, like I say, get ready, because it's coming, man. The pains are coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be a revolution because they're gonna fight against each other.
Yeah.
Hey, like I say, man, the prophecy, if you stand grounded in your word, the prophecy show what's finna come. It's like you say, when we see these things on TV, man, hey, it's time to go pop some popcorn.
Kick your feet up, man, and enjoy the movie.
Hey, some brothers said they go take a shot of strong drink, man. Hey.
And this class, piggybacking on your last class, comfort. Lamb it back on the comfort, because the scriptures comfort us and let us know. We see these things, man.
That's exactly right. Let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1.
Sing somebody else say piggyback. I don't know what it is. We messing with them things.
When you get to read that,
2 Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
He said, read that again,
He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Now this is going into who? Uriah giving Ezra the understanding on things to come, on things that's going to pass and be fulfilled. Read on up.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before.
It says, and when thou seest part of the signs which I have told thee before, because even going into, did I send it to y'all?
You did that.
Man, you know it. It says, and when we see as part of the signs past, which I have told thee, because we seeing parts of these things right now. We seeing nations slowly starting to come against America. We seeing the EU starting to what? Slowly but surely come apart as well. We see it with what? With Brexit. That's what we tell brothers and sisters, like we always say, world history is very important because that's showing you the unfolding of the prophecies in the Bible. Read on up.
Verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
So we knowing that, guess what, the Most High God is visiting the world. We just see about a earthquake that done shook Indonesia, man. Killed like 30 people, displaced hundreds of people. This is the Most High God bringing judgment on all these nations for the things that they have did to us, man. They are not going to get away with the oppression that they have did to his chosen people, man. Even though, guess what, we broke the commandments, the Most High God is showing us our love. Each time that he bring a nation against us, he always judges that nation, man. That's just the love that the Most High God have for his people, man. No other nation has the love that he has for us. Read on up.
Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
Read verse 3 again.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars.
Earthquakes in Indonesia, uproars of the people in what? In the U.S. Capitol. Just look at that thing. This is supposed to be the beacon of hope, the beacon of democracy. But then you got Russia calling in, going in, mocking America. You got the French mocking America. You sure got China and Iran mocking America. They just love to see that type of destruction, man. They mocking America. America is not what it used to be, man. People are not afraid of America anymore. And the Most High God is putting a spirit on them to bring judgment on this nation, man. They are not afraid anymore.
Because how can you be afraid of somebody who's going around the world pushing democracy, but they can't even do it themselves?
That's right.
That's what make you a laughing stock. That's like you trying to tell somebody, brother, you need to get your house in order. But then yours ain't in order.
Yeah.
That's why they looking at them crazy. God just got your own capital stormed by your own people. Not another nation, but your own people. And you got the audacity to try to tell us how to rule our kingdom.
Turn it up right quick. Finish your thought, though. Let me see that.
Members of Congress and their staffs rushing for cover. Reporters told not to reveal their whereabouts. This image tonight of a man walking through Statuary Hall carrying a Confederate flag. Another startling image from inside the office of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Some trying to breach the House chamber, armed security barricading the door, keeping them out. Behind them, members were taking shelter, some of them on the floor, some told to grab their gas masks to protect against tear gas. In an empty Senate chamber, this Trump supporter at the front of the chamber declaring Donald Trump won that election. The march to the Capitol following those words from President Trump, speaking to his supporters, who he invited to Washington, saying, "You have to show strength," telling them to march to the Hill. And as nightfall approached tonight, the heavy presence, the National Guard joining local police and the FBI, the curfew now in effect. And of course, so many questions tonight. How was this allowed to happen? Where was the security? With the president
Said the
encouraging
curfew
these
is now in
protests
effect.
for weeks
Martial
now.
law is now in
We're gonna begin
effect.
tonight with our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Carl.
Pause that right quick. He
Chaos
asking
and
how can they let this
lawlessness
happen?
breaking
But
down.
I mean, hey, they let it happen. Like we say, 80% of those police officers, those Capitol police officers, they was Trump supporters. So you want to ask how they let those people in? You pretty sure they finding out police, they taking pictures with them, smiling.
This how they let them in.
For real. That's
This
exactly.
This way. They had politicians taking them on tours, showing them around which way to go. They investigating that right now. But the major thing about it, this how you know the Most High working. That you know that same restraint Esau got when one of them Edomites, they get pulled over and, what you give me a ticket for? I'm not paying this, and throw it in the cop face and the cop don't do nothing. That's them same people. And that same restraint that cop has for them people when they do that, but they turn around and shoot us when we ain't even did nothing. That's amazing restraint for your own people. But they got it for all the Edomites. So it only makes sense. Yeah, they put up all the force and bring out all the National Guard, but is they gonna do something though? But when it was us, Donald Trump said go clear the streets so I can go in front of this church and fake like I'm a Christian They went and cleared the streets immediately. But when they storming the Capitol, they couldn't do nothing. How could this happen? Boy, it's amazing the restraint Edomites got for each other, man. If we had that same restraint for each other, we'd be further off. If we can restrain ourselves when it comes to our own people, the same way they restrain when they put in the revolution, because I don't care what they say. Them people was going in there to kill, because that's in their nature.
That's right.
They went savage mode up in there, and they said, well, we don't know if somebody's got zip ties and in military combat gear, and they saying kill Nancy Pelosi and kill Mike Pence, and they come storm the Capitol, you think they ain't coming to kill nobody?
For real.
And they got pipe bombs and guns and weapons, and you got the audacity to question if they was coming to kill. Hey, that's why we gotta watch the show, man, because it's not a question to us when we see stuff like this, what somebody's intentions is. Oh, you coming to kill me. That's what you came to do. Not know, I wonder, how did they do? Was they really coming to kill? No, it ain't none of that, man. But let them play their game so Most High can keep doing what he got to do to them.
I'm gonna touch on something right quick, man. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 42 and 18 right quick.
Hold your precept in second Ezra. We're going to come back after Audrey.
Because in this, the Most High asking a question. Let me get there, I'll read it.
Isaiah 42 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
Hear ye deaf, and look ye blind,
So he said, hear ye deaf and look ye blind. Read.
that ye may see.
Uh-huh.
Who is blind?
Uh-huh.
But my servant.
Because a lot of our people, they see this and they still blind. Read.
Who is blind but my servant?
But my servant, that's Israel, man. Read.
Or deaf as my messenger that I sent.
Hey, man, look here. If this ain't our people, man, I don't know who it is. Read.
Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant,
Uh-huh, read.
seeing many things,
Mhm.
but thou observest not.
Read that again up.
Seeing many things, but thou observest not.
See, they see many things like this, and guess what? They observe not, because they don't reference this with the scriptures. They just said, man, our people, man, they right along with them. Our country is falling apart. It's our country now falling apart. It's horrible. For real, it's terrible that our people do these things, man. Read on.
Seeing many things, but thou observest not.
Uh-huh.
Opening the ears, but he heareth not.
But they open their ears, but they hear it not, because a lot of times we try to tell our family members the same thing. Like, these is prophecies, man. These things must come to pass. These things right here is in the Bible. I don't want to hear it. Guess what? That's why Big Mama gonna continue to keep getting her leg cut off. Guess what? Auntie still gonna get her breast cut off. Hey, get cancer. Big Daddy get prostate cancer. These things gonna keep coming, man. Because people not hearing the Lord, man. People just not hearing. And when they don't hear, guess what? The Lord got to make examples out of people, man. He rewards them that do good, but he make example out of ones that do not listen. Read on.
The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness.
Read that again out.
The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness.
He said the Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. Read.
He will magnify the law.
Read that again out.
He will magnify the law
Read.
and make it honorable.
Because all these things right here come to pass because the Lord got to magnify his word, man. That means he got to bring these things to pass. These things are not going to be slack. When he said he's going to put it, when he said he's going like August going into it in second Ezra, when he says that like a woman that's 9 months, how to travail and how it's going to travail until the woman have the baby. Guess what? It's going to travail until the Most High send his son back, man. And when he come back, he gonna put this thing all the way back in order, man. There you go.
Let's go back to second Ezra chapter 9. Because there was good precept, because like we say, our people, they don't observe the things. We telling them Sabbath in, Sabbath out. Brothers and sisters constantly telling their families, telling brothers and sisters at work, when we out at the stores or so forth, just out there in the streets. When we out there trying to wake up the sheep. And they can't see that thing. They can't see it for nothing in the world, man. It's just like you just having a regular old conversation. But this is a conversation about the destruction of the world, man. Our people got to understand that. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 3 again.
2nd Ezra 9 and 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
So we know that what? Ezra was in the time of what? The Persian and Mede captivity. This is about what? 538 BC. Thousands of years ago, man. And we seeing these things slowly but surely starting to transpire. We know last year during the summertime is what? With Black Lives Matter. It was a civil uproar. But we know that they judged our people way more harshly than they judged them. Like we said, if there had been Black Lives Matter out there, there'd have been black bodies everywhere out there, man. You know, just riddled with bullets. They wouldn't have been playing no game. Just like we see the brother that was trying to lead him away. He was scared of it, had a pistol on his arm, but didn't even think to pull out his gun, man. That couldn't have been Esau, man. That subconsciously let our people know that they still deal with Stockholm Syndrome, man.
I would have blasted.
I'm talking about, say,
They got this man running, and he will not pull out his gun.
they didn't even think to pull it.
They even might pull his gun out and blast it, didn't he?
I'm saying, one plan, man.
And them Capitol Police told them, don't use excessive force. That's the order that they got.
What?
Ain't that something? So while they storming the Capitol, you still gonna listen to that order? Don't use excessive force, and they over here trying to kill half of y'all. Because half of them was down with them, but the other half, they jumped on. And they still didn't pull their weapons, man. That's something else.
Yeah, that is, huh?
It's amazing how you can get attacked, but a brother just driving in the car and he ain't got no weapon or nothing, can get shot. That show you where we living at, man. So all our people, Christian counterparts, blacks who think this their country, this is a wake-up call from the Most High.
It sure
Because
is.
even Edom might see that thing, man. Even Edom might see, damn. And the Black Lives Matter was on these same streets. They reacted differently. And now they acting like this because y'all gonna get y'all country divided. That's why. Go ahead, dog.
Read verse 4.
Verse 4, 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
Read that again.
Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
He said he spake of these things even before he made us, man. Even before us. Even before our time's coming. That's how we know, and like we said, that the Bible is a true book. Because we seeing, what we seeing? Earthquakes and uproars of the people. In Indonesia, we seeing it right here at the U.S. Capitol. We seen it last year with Black Lives Matter. Civil unrest. You got political unrest. All these things is America is putting the world in frantic, man, because they getting tired of these policies. Just like Ak was bringing out, they telling people to do something, but they themselves not doing it. You know, straight hypocrisy. You trying to tell a country to do something, but you yourself ain't guiding your country right. You trying to talk about brutality in the Congo, brutality amongst in Russia, but then you over here killing your people, shooting black men down. I mean, come on, man. It's hypocrisy at its finest, man. Read on out. Verse 4 again.
Verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Even from the beginning. Read on now, because even from the beginning, even in Genesis, the Most High God let us know about Esau. He let us know that he's what? What is some of Esau's attributes? That what? Like the red meat. What else? He's a cunning hunter. And what else? Live by the sword. A vagabond.
Yeah.
Running from the strong arm of the law. These are the things, these are some of the characteristics of Esau. This is how we can point this to him. Read on up.
Verse 5, for like us all that is made in the world had a beginning and an end. and the end is manifest.
Read that last part again.
And the end is manifest.
The end is manifesting itself, brothers and sisters. That's why it's pivotal to stay diligent in this truth, to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. So guess what? You can make it through to the end, man. He's telling us these things is being manifest right before our eyes, but our people have eyes that they can't see. I'm gonna read that again. For like is all that is made in the world had the beginning. So everything got a beginning. The world had a beginning and an end. The end is manifesting itself, man. People got to take and meditate on that thing. Every day is getting closer and closer. Every minute, every hour. It's no games that can be played for your salvation, brothers and sisters. This is real deal Holyfield right here, man. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 4. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14.
Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein.
It says, destruction to the world and them that dwell in it. Read on.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
Read that again.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh.
For the sword, we know that the sword is what? The modern day gun. And their destruction is drawing nigh, nearer and nearer. Read on out.
And one people shall stand up to fight against another.
Read that again out.
And one people shall stand up to fight against another.
That's what we have it at the Capitol. We got one people standing up to fight against another. They feeling like the election was one way, the other side feel like it went the other way. But the Israelites, we don't give a damn about either side.
That's right.
So we got to understand, just sit back and relax, man. Read on up.
And swords in their hands.
And what?
And swords in their hands.
Even like, I'm trying to get this video from Ak, even guns at the Capitol, like Ak is breaking out. One Edomite had pipe bombs made up in this truck. Come on, man. When have you ever seen a Black Lives Matter bring pipe bombs? When they talking about them Molotov cocktails, man, you know, come on, man. Judah ain't making no stuff like that, man. Ain't nothing but Esau, like you say, Antifa them, masking themselves amongst them. That's why our people have to all separate ourselves all the way from them, man. All the way. We're going to touch on that too later on. Read on, huh?
16. For there shall be sedition among men.
The word sedition means to conduct or speech inciting people to rebel. What was Donald Trump on that thing doing, man? Inciting them people to rebel.
And what did they call it? Sedition.
They called. That's why I pulled it out.
It's impeachment going into sedition.
I'm talking about using the same words and everything. I'm glad I brought that up because when I see that, I'm like, this is the same exact word, man. I'm talking about just took it from the textbook out of our book, man. And brothers and sisters saying that the Bible ain't a true book, and they using the same words. This is during the time of Ezra, like we say. This is 500 beasts, 5,000s of years ago, but they still using the same words, man.
And one of them even called them wicked. It was just a wicked act. Yeah, we know.
For real, we sure know. Says to conduct a speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. And that's what we seen Trump doing. You know, he incited those people, knowing that he didn't have a leg to stand up on. But then he knowing his followers are straight crazies, straight fanatics. He'll tell them anything and they'll believe anything. You remember that one time he was at the on the protest when he was going against Hillary Clinton. He talking about, man, I could shoot somebody in downtown New York and I can get away with it. I'm talking about he literally said that, and people just looking like, you're like, well, yeah, damn, he sure got a point. Shit, he could.
He got a great point because I know he could now. But
For real, they showing him.
Dick Cheney shot somebody and he got away with it.
Yeah, he did sure did, man.
Yeah, he was the vice president. So you know the president, this crazy nut job, he'll do it and they ain't gonna do nothing but ride for him.
Man, I'm talking about ride wholeheartedly for him, man. Like we said, this is just a precursor to things that's coming to pass. Like we said, you know how it's gonna be on the inauguration. You know how they're gonna be throughout Biden's term. Read verse 16 again up.
16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another.
And what up?
Invading one another.
Invading one another. Read on up.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
They won't regard the congressmen, the congresswomen. Like we say, the video that you got that? Could you send it to me?
Nah, it just, I can't really send it.
It was just something that popped up.
Yeah, it's just newscast.
Even with that, like how he was going into, boy, they wanted Nancy Pelosi head. Hell, they wanted Mike Pence head. I'm talking about this man had been loyal to Trump ever since, and then they even turned on his behind, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just imagine if they turned on people that was loyal to Donald Trump for all 4 years, how they'll do our people, man. Our people got to wake up, man. Read verse 16 again, up.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
And the courses is standing in their power because they got all the power in the world right now. Like we said, we know, everybody knows that he incited that riot. But then you still got some of his people that's in power that don't want to hold him accountable for that thing, man. Read on up.
17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Now this is going into, what brother can relate this to today? Who did this happen to? Who is this happening to? What you got to hear, somebody? Read it again. Verse 17.
A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Brothers know what this
Yeah, I
talking
know this.
about. What you think it's talking about, Al? What you think? Here's my. Say it again.
Yeah.
Say it again. Don't be scared. Say it, Al.
The Trump wall?
No, that yes. Who said it? What?
The borders?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what this is going into. Stopping Issachar at the border, putting them in basically concentration camps. Like he's saying, like even Gabar said, with him building up that wall, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Because guess what? Esau know that this was Issachar's land first, man. They know that the immigration laws is all jacked up, man. Come on, y'all took this land by force. Y'all come in here. They even got because it's Edomite immigrants, but they don't never check their visa cards. That's how you know this is a rigged system against them. They got Chinese, Moab come here to try to have babies all the time, to try to get good health care. They don't never check their visas, but they always checking Issachar's visas. That's why we tell Issachar, northern tribe, it's our time, brothers and sisters, wake up, man. Because y'all seeing the things that's happening to y'all. It's recorded in the Bible. Read on now.
A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled.
Shall be what?
Shall be troubled.
Because Esau, what nation is more prideful than Esau? He know that he got this land by the force of the sword, and he's ruling over this thing, man. So it's nothing we can do, but it's only turn back to the commandments. Read on now.
The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
And we're seeing constantly. That's why they keep playing this thing to put that fear tactic upon people. Read on up.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword.
With the what?
With the sword.
Read on up.
And spoil their goods. Because of the lack of bread.
Because of lack of food. You know things gonna get worse and worse. We're seeing food shortages everywhere. These things is gonna get worse and worse, and the Most High God is letting us know how it's gonna transpire, brothers and sisters. Read on up.
And for great tribulation.
Read on now. This is what I want.
Behold.
20 and 21.
Behold, said God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me.
So that's why he getting all these kings and all these leaders of these other nations. He's calling them together to do what? To reverence him. Because he's tired of America, man. That's why he's raising up Iran. That's why he put it on Donald Trump's spirit to break up that nuclear treaty deal. Once they did that, Iran said, shoot, it's on and popping, man. I'm finna crank up them centrifuges, man. We finna make a lot of nuclear waste out here, man. We finna start creating, because we need things to defend ourselves too, man. America, they getting tired of America playing the bully, man. Read on up.
Behold, said God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me.
To do what?
To reverence me.
Read on up.
Which are from the rising of the sun.
What's the rising of the sun? What is that? Who?
Is that from the east?
what is this? What country is it specifically talking about?
Japan.
Japan and what? And China. Because Japan is in league with America, so it's more so going into the Chinese. You know, the Chinese in America, they at bumping heads right now, man. Like we say, I'm looking at the thing, they done overtook them first in imports. So you know America don't like that. But you got out.
The Japan flag, it represents the sun.
Exactly. And even the Japan sun do represent the flag. I mean, the flag represents the rising of the sun. Salaki. Read verse 20 again. Thanks, Julia.
Behold, said God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun,
Went into China and Japan. Read on.
from the south, from the east, and Libanus,
Libanus is going into Lebanon or Syria. Read on.
to turn themselves one against another.
Read that again.
To turn themselves one against another.
So he's calling all the leaders of these other worlds, of these other countries, to turn themselves what? One against another. Read on up.
and repay the things that they have done to them.
So, brother, man, I love that last part right there. To repay the things that they have done to them. The Most High God's going to use them to destroy each other to give us payback, man. To give us glory and things. That's how much love that the Most High God have for us, man. So it's pivotal that we show him love back by what? Keeping his commandments. Read on, up.
Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen.
Read verse 21 again, up.
Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen.
Not even though they doing it back then, but the Most High God loved the wordplay that he used. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen. How many brothers have got shot down by the police? It was one that came up. What's the brother name? Andre Hill. It happened on December the 22nd. Did anybody know about that? I didn't know about that. And I'll constantly be on there checking for stuff like that. I'm talking about, man, let me pull it up, man. I'm talking about, like as they do this day. Touch on something while I find this right quick.
Let me get a precept.
Yeah, bring it out.
Give me second address 16 and 70. See, let's see another word they've been using here lately. Like they went in the Bible and said we finna start using these words. Read that up.
Second Edges 16 to 7. May one turn again the
70.
arrow.
70.
70.
70.
I thought you said
70.
7. Thank you. So second Edges 16 to 7. For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection.
A what?
A great insurrection
Uh-huh.
upon those that fear the Lord.
Is that not a word they've been using? Insurrection. But in this sense, it's going to be used against us. First, they got to start at the house. But you think if they don't topple them people, that they ain't coming for us next? We already on the list. But in every city, it is a great insurrection. Because in every city, they murdering us. They killing us. That's the great insurrection. But when it happened to them, then they posted on the news as a great insurrection. But it's been a great insurrection against us in every city for those who fear the Most High. Read on.
They shall be like mad men.
What they should be like?
They shall be like mad men.
Did they not just show that? If they will be like that towards each other, how much more nasty and evil and wicked do they be towards us, man?
Mm-hmm.
We can't never forget that fact. But they just showed their hand, man, live and direct, here in the modern day, in the year of 2021, that they savages, man. They savages against their own self. Read on.
They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Is that not what they do, man? It's been a great insurrection against the Israelites in this country, in Babylon. Now they just starting to see for themselves. Oh, we came against each other. It's a great insurrection. Donald Trump started a great insurrection. It's been a great insurrection, man.
For sure, yeah. Look, even read, let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 21. So, what are you turning it? Because even when we read verse 21 again,
21, second Edges chapter 15. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen.
like as they do yet this day.
So will I do also, and recompense in their bosom.
Ohio
So a lot of times when
appears
we
to
see
show
things
Andre
like
Hill,
this,
an unarmed black man, still alive, as he lay wounded on the ground. For more than 5 minutes, officers left him lying there without giving any first aid. Mr. Hill was wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt under his sweater.
let me start that over real quick.
Just moments after Andre Hill walked out of a garage at a house where he was a guest, he was shot by police.
Put your hands up to the side. Hands up to the side now. Roll your stomach
Got a
now.
cup in his hand, man.
Body cam footage from officers in Columbus, Ohio, appears to show Andre Hill, an unarmed black man, still alive, as he lay wounded on the ground.
He
For
knew
more
it,
than
that's why he
5
cussed.
minutes,
He knew he
officers
messed
left
up,
him
but he
lying
knew he
there
gonna get
without
away with it.
giving any first aid. Mr. Hill was wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt under his sweater, calling for justice for George Floyd. It then took between 5 and 13 minutes before anyone attempted to save Andre Hill's life, according to his family's lawyer.
Everybody,
Cup in his man. See this man shot, man.
Anybody doing anything for him?
Negative, sir. We contact the medics.
Is anybody doing anything for me?
Get some gloves. You got gloves on?
Yes, sir.
Start pumping his chest.
It was too late for the 47-year-old, who became yet another unarmed black man to die in an encounter with...
And that happened on December the 22nd. I'm talking about, man, you see they ain't been playing that stuff like that, man. So it's a lot of, just imagine, even though we have technology and we have phones now, it's still a lot of stuff that we don't be privy to, man.
Something just happened this week. Another one got shot. I just heard it this morning on the radio station.
Even like, all right, it's just, hey, man, I'm talking about, I'm tuned into this because, like we said, we making classes tuned into this to show people that the Bible is a true book, to get brothers and sisters to understand that these things is very, very important to keep the commandments. Read verse 21 again.
21. Like as they do yet this day, unto my chosen.
Because the chosen is the children of Israel. Give me 1 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 13. That's another precept for brothers, you know what? 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 13. Read that up.
1 Chronicles 16, verse 13. O ye seed of Israel, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones.
So we are the chosen ones. And it's obvious because we the only ones that's getting shot down in the street. Just looking at, I know Ock probably saying it, in Flint, Michigan. They just now bringing charges up on the people that was polluting the water with lead on the governor. He's not the governor anymore, but you know he getting off scot-free. Like, we ain't finna play. He was responsible for what, over 80 people getting very, very sick and about 30 people losing their lives. Like I said, lead is very, very poisonous. This can lead to brain defects and so forth. Then, like I say, then they want to give people college. He dumb as hell now. What he gonna do? Go to college and not be able to pass nothing because he ain't got no brain power no more because of all the lead that he had been drinking. You know, these things don't make no sense. And like I said, yet as they do this day unto his chosen. So they constantly jacking us up with political laws, with environmental laws. Because I don't know if brothers and sisters have ever noticed it, we always around chemical sites. A lot of times where we live, it's where the manufacturers are. It's where chemical companies are. Polluting the water, polluting the air. You ain't seeing none of this stuff out there in Highland Park, man. Because they know what the effects that it has on the people, man. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 21 again.
15, 21.
Yes, Salaki. 2nd Ezra 15 and 21. Thanks, Alex.
Verse 21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom.
So the Most High God's gonna pay them back in their bosom. What is that?
Yeah, that guy named is Sean King out of Killeen, Texas. He was waving his hand walking towards the police. That was on the 14th.
He was a mental health patient too.
Yes. And he was waving his hand. He was armed with his hand. And they shot him.
I said they ain't been playing that because they've been a lot of times. I'm gonna tell y'all with this riots and stuff, it's also smoke screens too, because they'll keep playing that and won't play what's really going on with our people. Because just like I said, somebody else done got killed, man. So that diverts attention to this, to these damn vandals. Read 2nd Ezra 15 and 21 again up.
Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also, and recompense in their bosom. Thus said the Lord God.
Read on up.
My right hand shall not spare the sinners.
Who is the right hand of God? Christ. Christ ain't gonna spare these sinners, man. He's not gonna spare the people that is dealing with us unjustly. Read on up.
And my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth.
And hey, give me Matthew chapter 12 verse 25, because even Christ was warning. We're gonna touch on this. Christ was even warning us about these things, man.
Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
When we read up in the context, Christ had just healed someone. So Christ was doing a good deed, but the scribes and the Pharisees was doing what was coming after Christ, for doing righteous, for keeping the law. So they mad because he's getting all the glory, he's getting all the attention now. He said, Christ is cutting them up. He said, and Christ knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. This is how the Most High God is going to bring Esau's kingdom down. That's what he's doing this for. He's using them to, guess what, be divided amongst themselves. Now, this goes twofold. We relate this to Esau, but in this context, it was talking about also Israel, man. Us as a divided nation, because when was Israel divided? Let me see if brothers paying attention. I just gave y'all a hint from Camp 101. Who said it? When? Exactly. I wasn't even here. What precept is it though? Yeah, brother just touched on this. You know, I won't know who's studying, man. 1 Kings what? Who got it? Don't be scared. Who got it? What you got, good boy? I heard.
I didn't even say nothing.
Who got? What you got? A hit spot?
1 Kings 17.
1 Kings 11 and 31.
Oh, praise God. 1 Kings chapter. We just went over this, man. Brothers is not gonna be asking y'all no deep things, man. Brothers gonna ask y'all things that we know we don't went over, man. Because brothers, it's very important, even for the sisters too, but more so to the brothers when we after on the streets, to understand the division, to understand why they're called Gentiles in the New Testament. Even during that time, that's why we fell as a kingdom, because guess what? We was divided, northern and the southern kingdom. Read verse 25 again,
Verse 25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
So guess what? A house, a nation that's divided against itself, it can't stand. So we seeing these things transpire with Esau. We seen it transpire with us in 1 Kings chapter 11. That's why we back at the rebuilding process right now. That's why we're trying to get our understanding, trying to get our nationality and our heritage back because of the split of the kingdom. We was divided, so therefore what? We failed. Read on up.
And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself.
Read 26 again.
And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself.
So we know who are the children of Satan.
The ones that's at the
Esau. Yeah, exactly. At the U.S. Capitol, but frankly Esau, because we already know who they is. So the Most High God gonna use Satan to do what? Cast out Satan. Because guess what? Satan do have kids on this planet Earth, man. Just like the Most High God has children, Satan has them too. Give me 1 John 3 and 10. Like we say, we're trying to break down all these false notions, all this Christianity, and just go with what the Bible says.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 verse 10. In this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil.
He said, in this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Read on now. This is how we can tell.
Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God.
So we know that Esau, man, they not thinking upon the Most High commandments. Now don't get me wrong, this is like we always say, there's some black and brown devils out there too. That's Satan, that is they daddy. Read on out.
Neither he that loveth not his brother.
Because from the beginning, who did love his brother? Esau. So the Most High God is giving us hints. John is pointing us back always to what? To the Old Testament. That's why we tell brothers, you have to have a good understanding of the Old Testament to even think about moving towards the New. Read on out.
For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
Read on out.
Not as Cain.
Not as who?
Not as Cain.
Read on out.
Who was of that wicked one.
Who was of that what?
Wicked one.
Because guess what? Cain is regenerated into who? Into Esau. Read on out. This is why he pointed his history back to us. Read on.
And slew his brother.
And did what?
And slew his brother.
Just like Esau was trying to slew Jacob. Read on.
And wherefore slew he him? Because his own words were evil, and his brother's righteous.
Own works. Read that again.
Like it. Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
So it's children of Satan that's out there, and we seen them at the U.S. Capitol last Wednesday. We seen a whole gang of them, man. Them the real baby's kids, man. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 12, verse 26.
Let me get another precept on that. John 8 and 44. Y'all should know that. That's the street precept. Christ will see calling them that.
And that's a cut to his Christians. Oh, you're supposed to love everybody. He just said not as Cain. If they understood that was the spirit of Cain, which is Esau. That's a cut right there. Let them know now. Supposed to love everybody. John 8 and 44. Ye are of your father the devil.
Read it again out.
Ye are of your father the devil.
That's what Christ is even cutting them up too, man. He said, ye are of your father the devil, man. Read.
And the lust of your father ye will do.
Yeah, he said the lust of the father you will do. Read.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
Read it again out.
He was a murderer from the beginning.
He's showing the attributes of this man. The same kind of spirit Cain had, the same kind of spirit that the Edomites got, man. Read.
And abode not in the truth.
They abode not in the Most High's truth. Read.
Because there is no truth in him.
Because it's just not for them, man. They just set up to bring the sword and to die when it's time for them to go. Read.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
Read that again.
When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
Man, because those blacks, those people wearing fringe, they're nothing but thugs. And they talking about themselves. Every time they speak about somebody, they speak about themselves. Hey, the people in the Capitol Hill, those are nothing but some criminals. They're crooks, and they speaking just about themselves, man. Whatever he say, I was like, just look at him, now. That's you. When he speaking exactly about himself. Read on.
For when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he is a liar.
Read.
And the father of it.
He is a liar and the father of it, man. Well, I'll tell you about the Bible pick they tail apart, man.
Can I get another precept?
Yeah, break it out.
Back off that. Let me get Jeremiah 16 and 19, man.
Yeah.
Because they ain't nothing but liars and deceivers. They love and make up a lie. That's why they love Donald Trump. Why you think all the people love Donald Trump? We saying that the damn Edomite is the devil that the Bible speaks of. We not just talking. Don't nobody in the world love somebody lying to them like Edomites do. Look at Hitler. He lied to them the whole time. Cranked them up, boy. Fired them up to go to World War II. if Donald Trump can do it, he'll do the same damn thing, man. Read that out.
Jeremiah 16:19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies.
What they gonna say out?
Surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit.
That's all they doing is passing down lies and vanity, man. They religions is a lie. They philosophies is a lie. Everything about these people is a lie. And that's why, like I said, everything that they say about somebody else is their own attributes. Oh, the Indian is the red man.
Yep.
No, you're the red man.
Come on, man. You put a damn brown man on the redskin helmet. This is how they play, man. This type of stuff they do, man. Oh, they're thugs.
And hold up, I'm glad I said that's why they didn't want to get rid of that redskin name, man. Because it put images in our people's head to automatically think that the red man is the Indian. That's why they struggled to get that name changed, man. Esau did not want to let that name go, boy. Go ahead,
the Indians scalped us. Man, y'all been scalping us.
For
man.
real.
They just liars, man. Go ahead,
Because even to the thought that Esau can keep the commandments. I think there may be some good Edomites out there. I think they can keep the commandments if we could just bring them into the fold. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 3. You already know. Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 31. Because Ezra's cleared that up for us thousands of years ago, man. Was giving us the understanding on that. Even getting it from the book of David. That's where he really quoting it from. Don't forget the thought. The thought was going into Satan casting out Satan. We showing how they are the children of Satan. Because what? They don't keep the commandments. They teach in seminary schools that what? God's laws is done away with. So this is one of the attributes as well. Another one. Read this out.
2nd Ezra 3:31. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion?
So he was asking, is they of Babylon better than they of Zion? Because the Most High God had kept bringing judgment. So Ezra wanted to know these things. Like, why we steady going through these things at the rate that we are going through them? Read on up.
Or is there any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel?
And Ezra's, he was giving the understanding and letting people know that it's no other nation of people that know the Most High God but Israel. Read on.
Or what generation had so believed thy covenants as Jacob?
Or what nation of people have believed our covenants like we do? Read on up.
And yet the reward appeareth not.
Jump down to verse 35.
35. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight?
Well, we ain't never seen Esau not sinning. When have we ever seen them trying to keep the commandments? Even with the manure, they got a damn 9-legged manure up there, man.
And then when they got power, it said wickedness multiplied in the earth.
Hey. I'm talking about all, and that's why we want brothers and sisters to get to learn to start seeing the Bible through the whole book. Through the whole book. Understanding that, guess what? Who the audience is and who is the author. And understanding what the context is from Genesis to Revelations. Read verse 35 again.
35. Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments?
Or what people are trying to keep God's commandments? You don't see Edomites out there trying to keep God's commandments because they constantly teach that the laws is done away with. Read on up.
Thou shalt find that Israel by name has kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
Read 36 again, man.
Thou shalt find that Israel by name has kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
We are the ones that's constantly trying to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, but Israel's letting us know, not the heathen. The heathen is not trying to keep God's commandments at all, man. They not even in their thoughts, man. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 12, verse 25.
Can I get
Yeah, break it out.
You ain't got Psalm 50?
I did, but yeah, bring it out. 53 and 2.
16. 50 and 16.
Oh yeah, bring it out. I was gonna pull 53 and 2.
Let's go to Psalms 50 and 16 and let it back. Read that when you got it out.
Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, God said, what hast thou to do to declare my statute, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
So the Lord said, but unto the wicked. Let me see here. Brother Samuel, what's the precept for border of wickedness? Shana.
Job 9 and 24.
Border of wickedness.
Yeah. Malachi, chapter 1.
Right.
In verse, what is it? 2, 3?
Nope.
Malachi, chapter 1. Yeah, the border of wickedness.
What's the verse?
Hold on.
4. A little bit now, you got it. Malachi 1 and verse 4. This is how we know when you start at verse 1, read on down, the Lord is telling you Esau is the border of wickedness. So when we reading right here, he's saying, but unto the wicked God said. Who is the wicked?
That's right.
The ones that practice this thing, they come out the womb with it, man. They go to sleep on their beds with it. He say to the wicked, God said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Read on up.
Seeing thou hatest instruction and casting my words behind thee.
They hate up instruction and cast the Lord's word behind them. That's why they saying you don't have to keep God's law.
That's right.
Because God's law brings reproof. It brings instructions.
That's the same attribute he had from the beginning, man. Like, that's why Esau's a cunning hunter. He felt like he never needed the Most High. That's why he cast away his birthright. Like, man, I got this, man. I don't need nothing.
Bring it out.
Same attribute this devil got, man. The same, all our forefathers just called him out, man.
That's what they call them now. There's no way of getting around it.
Same thing with Cain and Abel.
Yep. Same
Cain
thing
wanted
with
to give whatever he wanted to give.
Yep. Same damn spirit.
Abel followed instructions.
Yep.
Same with Esau. He didn't want to listen. He sold his birthright and went and slept with other women of other nations. And wanted to kill his brother.
Let's go back to Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. About 12, so like at Matthew's 12 and 27. Yeah, 26. Thanks, sir.
Matthew 12 and 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?
He's telling you how his kingdom gonna stand if the Most High God keep using them to come against each other. We touched on it last week. I'm see if brothers remember. What is the precept to show how the Most High God? I don't know. That's kind of wide. I ain't gonna put it. Read on out.
And verse 27. And if I, by Beelzebub, cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore, they shall be your judges.
Christ is cutting them up. He's saying Beelzebub is what? Anybody know what Beelzebub is?
Devil.
Yeah, it's a devil. You know, it's like going into like Lord of the Flies. You know, this is a ancient Greek demon who they use as Baal, which really do mean Satan. So he's just saying the same thing, just using different words. Because Christ was cutting them up. He telling them, and if I by Beelzebub, so Christ is letting them know, how the hell I'm going to cast out demons if I'm using Satan? He's telling us, and if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? So Christ is straight cutting them up, because he's telling you, if he casting them out, then what power is you using then? I'm using of the Most High. And they even pointed to it in the scripture. They knew, like, how can this man do such things if he's filled with the devil, man? Like, come on, man. So they had to concede on those things, man. But our people wanting to be the head Israelite in charge, this is what brought about division in the kingdom. Even during this time, it was still divided. Go ahead, Doc.
Let me get a precept on it. Jeremiah 9 and 5 right quick. But just like you say, if the Most High being led by the Spirit of the Most High, if Yahushua being led by the Spirit of the Most High, then what spirit is these other nations in? Or what spirit is our people in that follows the other nation? Read it up.
Jeremiah 9 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And they will deceive everyone his neighbor.
Read it again, up.
And they will deceive everyone his neighbor.
Read.
And will not speak the truth.
And will not speak the truth. Read.
They have taught their tongue to speak lies.
Because guess what? The same way that Esau do, our people watch Esau, and here we go, our people. We teach ourselves how to speak lies too. We go to these theological schools. We not in the same spirit that Yahushua told us to be in. They worshiping a white Jesus. What spirit is they in, man? Read on.
And weary themselves to commit iniquity.
And they weary themselves to commit iniquity against the Most High, man. They trouble themselves. They weary themselves so much. Like, why are you wearing them fringes? I can't believe you don't celebrate Christmas. They weary themselves to commit iniquity, man. Read on.
Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit.
Guess what? The whole inhabitation that they live in is straight deceit, man. Read on.
Through deceit, they refuse to know me.
He
said the Lord.
He said through deceit, they refuse to know him, man. Because people trust in oppression. And they deceit, that's what happened to our nation. That's why 2/3 of our people is going to take their ass to the lake of fire, man. Because through deceit, the Lord said they refuse to know me. That's why the other nations would never be able to understand the Most High. And guess what? The 2/3 of our people, they ain't gonna understand the Most High either. Even though the Most High gave them the understanding that they can be able to know Him, they refuse to because they trust in the way they live. Read on.
For therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, behold, I will melt them.
You said He would do what?
Melt them.
He said He gonna melt them, man. Read.
And try them.
And try them, man. Read.
For how shall I do for the daughter of my people?
So how shall I do for the daughter of my people? So the Lord said He gonna melt them, man. He gonna melt. Hey, with us, He's trying us, but guess what? With them, yeah, He gonna melt them too. In the furnace. Go ahead, up.
Let's go to Mark chapter 3, verse 25. Like we say, Matthew, Mark, and Luke give the same account. I like how Mark bring it out. This is a precept with Matthew's chapter 12, verse 25. So in Mark right here, you got right there. Saying the same thing we brought out in Mark. Read this. In Matthew. Salaki.
Mark 3 and 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Read that again, now.
And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
Because guess what? This breaks all the way down. Between the struggles that brothers and sisters have within themselves, between the struggle between husbands and wives, wives, and children, then it moves on up to the nation. So Christ is giving us insight on these things. If it's division within yourself, being lukewarm in this truth, guess what? You're going to fall in this truth, man. It's just no way around it. You wavering, thinking that this really not the truth, but you constantly seeing signs and seeing the things that's transpiring, but you trying to fight against the truth, you're going to fall. Husband and wives dealing in situations with the families. These things won't stand. It's very, very important, man, that we submit unto the laws of God, man. Now, it takes time, but guess what? Brothers and sisters need to be trying to make haste, man. Even with the nation. Like I said, we brought it up in 1 Kings chapter 11, how the northern and southern tribe was divided against each other. Read on, up.
26. And if Satan rise up against himself.
Read that again, up.
And if Satan rise up against himself. And be divided, he cannot stand, but had an end.
But had a what?
But had an end.
Hey, Satan got an end, man, because guess what? We seeing them rise up against themselves constantly. like I said, this is gonna get more and more. So y'all precept that with that. Let's go to give me Daniel chapter 2 and verse 41. Because even Daniel prophesied about these things, man. See if brothers catch this when we touched on it months ago or weeks ago. Because they act like this is the Kumbaya all book. But when you read, each prophet was pronouncing judgments against the other nations constantly, man. That's why they tell us to what? Don't read the Old Testament. Because the Old Testament make that thing plain, man, that the Most High God is only for Israel.
Man, I tell people, you ain't seen Birth of a Nation. You might need to see it.
Exactly.
Because it'll give you a good understanding on how they had us blinded. And then when the Israelite wake up to who he is, how it changed his whole mind frame. That movie shows you, man, they put the pastor up, they set up a pastor to teach you part of the Bible. As soon as he went to going into stuff they didn't want him to go, they like, man, what you doing? Because he reading this stuff, he like, oh, no, this us right here.
Right. And what do you say? So I read this book with new eyes.
With new eyes.
That's what we got to do.
Right.
We read this book and we were blind. Now we got new eyes.
That's right.
Now we got understanding of what it's actually saying. Yeah, that part was cold blooded.
And then they turn around and try to put a sexual assault on it with some white girls after you put that movie out.
Yeah.
That's how they do.
That movie live, man. If y'all ain't seen Birth of a Nation, I suggest y'all see it, man.
Oh, man, I'm glad that you said that. And this brother got another movie coming out. Y'all ain't seen that? He got the movie coming out to where we got the scene with Andre Hill. But it's his son in the car. He making a movie about that, where the son had the phone, and he was telling the son to put the phone down, and the police shot him. But he didn't let it go. They took up arms and took over the police. Y'all gotta look that up, man. I'm finna find it right quick. But let's go to Daniel chapter 2. We don't want to get brothers and sisters riled up in this thing, man. But the truth got to come out, though. You know, because, shoot, Israel getting tired, but not only, like we say, the Most High God said, don't channel it that way. Channel it by keeping the commandments. Because, like we said, the Most High God can jack these nations up better than anything that we can think of, man. You know, he tells us vengeance is his. Shoot, let the Most High have the glory, man.
They was watching the class last night, then that's what I kind of went up with a little bit.
Be angry, but sin not.
Daniel,
Yeah, read it right.
2 and 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided.
The kingdom shall be what?
The kingdom shall be divided.
Read on, huh?
But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
Uh-huh.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
We're going to read back over this. Any brother remember the breakdown of this?
It's talking about it's referring to the Ten Commandments, though, right?
Say it again, I.
It's referring to the Ten Commandments.
Yes, it is, I. You're right on that, but give us some more context. What is this going into? When you read from verse 38. Remember, it's going into what? The Nebuchadnezzar statue represent each part of the body represent a ruling kingdom. So you right on that. This is going into the 10 toes, going into the 10 commandments, which is really going into New England, and out of New England sprang America. This is really going into America. So yeah, you right on that. Verse 41, read that again.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron.
The potter's clay is going into what? Going into the Israelites. The iron is going into Rome and the Edomite nations. Read on out.
The kingdom shall be divided.
The kingdom shall be what?
Shall be divided.
The kingdom shall be divided. Like what we're seeing right now. Read on up.
But there shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
So America still have strong policies, still traditions. So this is where the iron is coming from, because even when you read up, it talks about the iron representing Greece, which goes into Rome and so forth. Read on up.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Read on up.
And as
well, hold on, let me touch on that. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, because What do they call this? The what? The great melting pot. All nations, kindreds, and tongues is among us. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, and that iron also represents America because it's
Spring.
military.
Yeah, exactly.
Military force is iron. Is what it's also going into.
All praise, Doc. Read on, Doc.
Verse 42. And at the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay. So the kingdom shall be partly strong.
So this kingdom is partly strong. Read on up.
And partly broken.
And partly broken. That's what we're seeing in the uproars and so forth. Because these things are starting to slowly unfold. Because Trump is with the extremists. He like, Nick, I want our race to be the top. Them Democrats, they trying to bring everybody together. So this is where they having confusion amongst each other. Read on up. You got something to bring that?
No, I'm in agreement.
Read on up.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Verse 43 is heavy. Like we're saying, and whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay. So even though we see Esau trying to constantly mix amongst us, once you start pulling back the skin, the layers, you will see that guess what, man? We are separate as hell. Like we say, even on Sunday, Martin Luther King said, they say the most segregated day is what? That's Sunday worship. Black people go to their churches, everybody go to their churches, man. You see it even in the judicial system. You see it's two sides of the law when it comes to Esau, and one side of the law when it comes to us. They got us in the hoods. They got it in the best places. They got us among corporations that put dirt and dump all in our communities, but in their community they got the purest air, the best water. We seeing these things. We do not mix, man. Just like oil and water. Read on up. You got something?
44. And in the days of the kings, so the God of heaven set up kingdom. Set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
This is heavy right there. The kingdom of Israel shall not be left to other people. Meaning other people is not going to be running what we got. We ain't going to have a Democrat and a Republican Senate up in the kingdom, man. Politics is not in the Bible. Democracy is not in the Bible. We got a head Israelite in charge, man. This keeps everybody on one accord. Because when you have these things, that's where you come to eventually. Constantly fighting for power in the power structure. And these things is going to crumble because when they divided amongst each other, Christ gave us to understand it can't stand, man. That's why it's very important that guess what? We be on one accord with keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. This is the only thing that can bridge us back together again, man. They would say, this is why brothers and sisters always say, why the million-man march never worked. Because there's too many ideologies out there. Too many people on different ideas.
And even, let's give it to a smaller aspect. You take, and I know some of y'all don't play sports, you take how you grew up. If a team over here, they over there arguing on the bench, most likely they finna lose. That's how that thing goes, man. You see that team over there arguing, boy, y'all finna lose like a bug, man. That's how that thing go. I don't care what you do. You see somebody, you see a group over here arguing amongst themselves, and y'all trying to do something, it's not gonna work, man. That's why Christ always give us the best understanding, man, when you read these scriptures, man. Guess what they doing, man? Christ is, man, the Most High is showing you that they arguing amongst each other, man. They finna lose. We just got to prepare our minds and start making, when you see stuff like that, guess what you're supposed to be doing? Grounding yourself more in this word. Seeking the Most High way more in this word, because you like, well, they finna lose. Hey, we up next. Let's get this thing going. Like I say, hey, you supposed to be here at 12 o'clock. He told you supposed to be here at 12 o'clock. Nick Rose will stop at 11:59. You got 1 second left there. Start trying to get it together. But guess what? The Lord's showing you. I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm showing you. Hey, what you gonna do now?
That's right.
Go ahead.
Even going back to Mark chapter 3 and verse 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. So we knowing that Esau's end is coming, man. We know it. Second is what? 6 and 9, man. All day. Exactly.
Precept out.
Yeah, bring it out,
This John chapter 17 and verse 20. I started 20. This is what Christ. This is how Christ wants us to be. While this is going on with our adversaries, this is how we should be. Read that up.
St. John, chapter 17, verse 20.
Start at 19.
St. John 17 and 19. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified through the truth. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word.
Read on.
That they all may be one.
That we what?
That they all may be one.
Uh-huh.
As thou, Father, art in me, and I in thee. That they also may be one in us. That the world may believe that thou hast sent me. And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I in them, and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them as thou hast loved me.
So when Christ is telling us to be one, the only way we can be one with Christ and the Most High is if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That's how we line up with them. Christ is the Word of God. God gave the commandment. We are the servants. We're supposed to adhere to the commandments. So the only way we're going to be in line with them is if we, oh my goodness. Salaki. We have to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to line up with the Most High and with Christ, man. So this is giving you an indication. Like, we got people thinking that it's the Holy Trinity, that Christ is God and God. This is the way that they the same, and that we all be the same.
That's right.
It's the same mind frame, the same way of thinking, the same ideology, the same commandment, the same kingdom, the same eternal life that we seek. And he told us that we should be one, man. While our adversaries is over there beefing, it's divided. This is the time that the Israelites is supposed to come together, man. And anybody who don't think that as an Israelite, I don't know what you're doing. Anybody who's an Israelite in this time that we in right now that's beefing with another Israelite, it's out the spirit, man. Just completely. Any camp that's beefing with another camp is out of the spirit. That is of the devil, man. While we got division in here, we trying to come back together. We shouldn't have division. This is what the laws is for, to work out any problems that we got so that we can eliminate the division.
That's right.
Go ahead, Al.
And I'm glad that I made that point, because those points are pivotal. Remember, the vocal point, the foundation point is the commandments. I'm glad I touched on that, because if it is a problem, if it's divisions, let's go to the law. Matthew's what? 18 and 15. These things, brothers and sisters, have to learn to apply, man. You know, don't feel sad in the spirit. Guess what? The word got to come out, man. Give me Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. So these things was prophesied from Ezra, from King David, from Daniel, from Christ, John. All these things are saying the same thing, man. We're just waiting for the end to take place. Oh yeah. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7.
Matthew 24 and 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
Read that again,
For nation shall rise against nation.
So we're seeing this thing, nation rising against nation. Read on up.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And kingdom against kingdom. Read on.
And there shall be famine.
We also seeing that. We in that time right now. Read on.
And pestilence.
We know the pestilence is going into what? COVID. Read on.
And earthquake.
We just seen the earthquake in Indonesia not too long ago. Most High God is steady jacking up Moab over there, boy. He ain't playing with the earthquakes and tsunamis over there. Read on up.
In diverse places.
In diverse places. In different places. Read on up.
All these are the beginning of sorrow.
Read verse 8 again.
All these are the beginning of sorrow.
So we got to understand that these are just the beginnings of sorrow. This is just in the the first trimester of the sisters giving birth. Brothers and sisters got to sit back and enjoy it, man. labeling this thing because this is the time that the prophets would have loved to see. We know some of them back on the earth right now. But this is the time that they love to see this, the coming down of our mortal enemy Esau, man. They would have loved to be in brothers and sisters' place right now, man. Give me Proverbs chapter 28, verse 7. Like it's no more beautiful time, man. We just, when they say brothers got to gird up their loins, sisters gird up their skirts. Get that, read that out.
Proverbs 28 and 7. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son.
Read that again out.
Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son.
But
he that is companion of riotous men, so like shameth his father.
He says, but he that is a companion of riotous men shameth his father. Because if you look closely, you see some Jakes up in that mug. Now, I don't know. We could look on face value. It might be some chocolate-covered Edomites. But if brothers is agreeing with Esau and trying to be like the heathen, brothers, y'all sadly mistaken. Sisters are sadly mistaken, because guess what? You're going to get the judgment that the Most High God going to bring on them as well, too. Don't want to take the good without the bad. No, you're going to take all of it, man. So you trying to live it up with Esau, guess what? You're going to live it down with him, too, when Christ come back, man. Like we say, do not be a part of this nation, man. Give me 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. Because we shaming our father. We are the sons of the living God, man. And when we do these things, we shaming our father. You know, like how your father got the church. No, don't mess with them children. You know, stay over here, because we done heard the word around town about them children. You know, them some little knuckleheads over there, man. So a lot of times when you're a part of those things, guess what? They ain't different, making a distinction between that. They take it down a whole group. So we have to be careful about these things, about who we're with. The Bible says be continually around godly men. Read this,
2 Corinthians 6 and 17. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate.
Read that again,
Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate.
The Bible is commanding us to come out from among them. Come out from among them in hanging around them, and coming out from among their traditions and their ways of life. That was never our way of life, to be conducting ourselves like that, man. Like we said, we conducted by the law, statutes, and commandments, man. That's what governs us. This is our constitution. Read on up.
And be ye separate, said the Lord.
And be ye what?
Separate.
And the Most High God is telling us to be separate. Don't join unto them. Read on up.
And touch not the unclean thing.
Because guess what? By nature, they are unclean, man. They is an unclean nation. He's telling us, touch not the unclean thing, man. Don't be around them. Don't participate in their traditions, in their politics. We don't do that, man.
Let me get a precept on that, man.
Bring it out.
You get Sirach chapter 17 and 17. Because it's going into this. That's why this is why he said, come out from among them. Be ye separate. What does that mean? He told you to be separate. Because guess what? He made it that way.
That's right.
You get y'all read that.
Sirach 17 and 17. For in the division of the nation.
Read that again. Read that from again.
For in the division of the nation.
He said, for in the division of the nations. Read.
Of the whole earth.
He
set a ruler over every people.
So he made no mistake in it. He didn't say world. He said of the whole earth. He said in the divisions of the nations of the whole earth, he set rulers over every people. Read.
But Israel is the Lord's portion.
Read that again,
But Israel is the Lord's portion.
But Israel is the Lord's portion, man. That's the reason why he said, because guess what? He set rulers over all them nations. So, but with Israel, guess what? The rulers are already set. You don't go to their rulers and then start going up under their customs. You don't go to their rulers and their politics, and now you gonna do what they do. The Lord said, no, y'all my portion. He said, I divided the whole earth. I divided every nation. I put rulers over them, but with my people, I set y'all over here apart from them. That's the reason why he said, come up out of that, man. Like I said, if you go up in there, when the judgment come for them, the same judgment they get, you gonna get it too.
And we finna prove that. Give me Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. Even when I'm going here, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14, brothers should already be thinking about the precept, man. We constantly went over that. Read that out.
Isaiah 13 and 14. And it shall be as the chased roe.
It says, and it shall be as the chased roe. We know a roe is going into what? A deer. The only time you chasing after deer is what? To what? Hunt it. It's saying it shall be as a chased roe. Read on up.
And as a sheep that no man taketh
It's
up.
going to be as a sheep that no man taketh up. Read on up.
They shall every man turn to his own people.
Read that again, up.
They shall every man turn to his own people.
When it gets down to the nitty gritty, every man is going to turn to their own people. Every race going to go back to their what? To their races. Chinese going to go back to China. And we're trying to get the hell up out of Dodge, man, when they see the destruction coming over here in America, man. You ain't going to be American no more. Nah, I'm full-fledged Chinese now.
Those ships gonna be going back as fast as they can over here, bro.
Read verse 14. I'm going to see if brothers catch this.
And it shall be at the chased roe.
What brother know what the it is in this context? Who is the it?
Israel.
And it shall be as the chase roe. Remember what we said? We made the correlation with a roe is a deer. When you chasing a deer, that means you what? You're hunting a deer. Esau. And it shall be as the chase roe, meaning Esau. Because boy, we gonna be say. I'm finna bring it out. Like we brought it out. Boy say, there ain't gonna be no games in this day, man. And it shall be as the chase roe. And as a sheep that no man taketh up. So everybody love Esau right now, but in that day, no, Esau, you better get the hell away from me, man. You better go on back to the Caucasus.
You better go
on back to the Capitol. Go on be with Donald Trump right now. Read on up.
And it shall be at the chased roe. And as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people.
Every man gonna turn to their own people. Read on.
And flee every one into his own land.
Read on up.
Every one that is found shall be thrust through.
Read that again, up.
Every one that is found shall be thrust through.
Every one of who? Esau. Gonna be thrust through. Read on up.
And every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Read that last part again, up.
And every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
This my little Edomite boyfriend. You know, mama and daddy, I just want you to meet him right quick, man. He's so nice. He's not like them. You know, everyone that is joined unto them gonna be thrust through them. With a swizzord, man. Who got the precept to verse 14? I mean, verse 15.
I got it.
What you got,
Proverbs 11 and 21.
All praise. Let's get that, man.
Book of Proverbs chapter 11 verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished.
Read that again,
Though hand join in hand.
Though you join in hand with Esau, like Martin Luther King said, Kumbaya, my Lord? No. We're supposed to be joining hand in hand with our own people. It's just like our people. That's why we're stuck in. We'll hate each other, but we love Esau when they hate the hell out of our guts. Now, what sense do that make, man? It really is. It's insanity. Even as far as going into wanting to move in their neighborhoods, man. That is crazy to me, man. Like, I understand that we may have some real hood neighborhoods. All of the hoods ain't real hood, though, man. There's some nice black areas that you can move to so you don't have to be around Esau, because you'll be a threatened day and night, man. You don't never know, because Esau is very cunning.
Man, Esau is what you call it. Is a psychopath. Is what I call it. They are psychopaths, man. Man, you don't know which way his mind will turn, man. You would think that this dude cool, yeah, he watering his grass the whole time. He's scoping you out which way how to get you, man. Esau, boy, like you say, they cunning.
Our people is a glutton for punishment. I'm finna go move in an all-white neighborhood just to say I can do it. But Esau come move and gentrify your neighborhood.
Yeah.
They'd come, be the first white people in the hood, and have the biggest house on the block. But we won't do it. We'd rather go live with them so we can get crucified and called N-words and talked down on. I don't understand it, man.
I don't either. Read 21 again.
Proverbs 11 and 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go and be unpunished.
So the wicked, Esau, they not going unpunished. Even the wicked of our people. Read on.
Right.
But the seed of the righteous shall be delivered.
But the seed of the righteous, what is righteousness? Who got that?
Deuteronomy 6:25.
Oh, praise. Deuteronomy 6:25. That's what righteousness is. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15. Read that out.
Isaiah 13 and 15. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Read on up.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces.
Most High ain't no joke. Their children dashed to pieces because guess what? In our history, they did us the same way. During the Trail of Tears, if Issachar fell behind, guess what? They dashed his head against the stones. Read on up.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
Give me another precept. Give me Joel chapter 2, verse 7. Because this is how it's going to be. So better. Because it ain't going to be no games. When Christ come and put a lot of these people back to death, most of them, don't think he ain't going to send the 144,000 down to get the rest of them and pull them up out of these bunkers. This is what this is going into. Giving you more detail on how they're going to be as the chase rope. Read this out. This is one of my favorite scriptures, man.
Joel 2 and 7. They shall run like mighty men.
The Israelites gonna run like mighty men. Read on out.
They shall climb the wall like men of war.
Man, we're gonna be climbing through them bunkers, man. Like men of war. Read on out.
And they shall march every one his own way.
And we're gonna be in complete order during this time, man. Way more better than 300, man. 300 ain't gonna have none on the 144,000, man. Read on up.
And they shall not break their ranks.
And we ain't gonna break our ranks. You see, when it's fire, Negroes scatter like roaches. No, it ain't gonna be like that when we back in order. When we back in our right spirit. Read on up.
Neither shall one thrust another.
Neither shall we thrust another. There ain't gonna be no friendly fire out there. You ain't gonna be able to shoot your brother in the back. Brothers can't aim like Ox said with the pistol down to the side. You trying to be clean looking on Facebook shooting. Yeah, look at me. No, it ain't gonna be like that, man. No vain glory or nothing. Read on, huh?
Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path.
Everybody gonna be in complete order. You gonna stay in your path. That's how you gonna attack. Read on.
And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
So when they shoot us with the gun, what? It ain't nothing gonna phase us. This is where they get Wolverine from. This is where they get Spider-Man from. This is where they get this stuff. Who climb walls? Who don't get hurt when he get thrust through? Wolverine. Read on, huh?
They shall run to and fro in the city.
We're gonna be running to and fro in the cities because they got underground cities in these cities, man. Underground bunkers. Like we say, when nuclear warfare falls out, a lot of times they be having those things like you see in New York with nuclear bunkers. Them things ain't for Negroes and Latinos, man.
Look here, if I had to be a doorkeeper in the kingdom, I'd be there. But if I'm 144,000, Lord, hey, got two options. I just want to ask for two requests, man. Put me in traffic. Let me get all of them. I love that. And also give me overtime. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Read on, Doc.
They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall.
They shall do what?
They shall run upon the wall.
Read on, Doc.
They shall climb up upon the houses.
They shall climb upon the houses, going into what? Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15. Read on, Doc.
They shall enter in it at the windows like a thief.
Like a what?
Like a thief.
Esau, what you doing up in there? Trump, what you doing up in there, man? Come on out, man. Read on up.
The earth shall quake before
The earth is going to quake when we get back in our right mindset, man. Read on up.
The heavens shall tremble.
The heavens is going into the rulers during this time. Read on.
The sun and the moon shall be dark.
Uh-huh.
And the stars shall withdraw their shine.
Because during this time, like I say, after that, the nuclear weapons have been unhit, sent all the dust up to do what? To cover the sun, to blot out the moon, to blot out the stars. Read on up.
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
Read on up.
For his camp is very great.
He said, and the Lord shall utter his voice before his army. Go get him.
Man, I thought people don't do camps.
Read that again,
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army.
Uh-huh.
For his camp is very great.
For his camp is very great, man.
Hey, you better get in the camp, man.
For real.
Hey, you better shake that mess. You better get in the camp, man.
Especially you sure want to be in this camp. In order to get in this camp, guess what? You got to want to gather amongst your people, man.
That's right.
For real.
Brothers got to shake that. A lot of times, like we say, brothers and sisters got secret sins. They know people start seeing their patterns, their attitudes, how they deal one with another. These things start getting exploited, man, when you're amongst brothers and sisters, man. If you really with the truth or not, man. Read on, up.
And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army. For his camp is very great. For he is strong that he executed his word.
For he is strong that executed his word, man. Christ, read on, up.
For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. And who can abide it?
That day is going to be a terrible day. Who going to be able to abide it, man? Who going to be able to survive that thing, man? Boy, say, give me Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 22. End on this one, man. It's time Israel to put the family back together again, man.
Revelation 18.
You want to pull it right quick?
18 and 6 to 8.
Go to Revelation 18 and 6. I'm trying to have brothers fired up for camp, man.
Revelation 18 and 6.
Start at verse 5.
Revelation 18 and 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. We reward her even as she rewarded you.
Read that again.
Reward her even as she rewarded you.
He said, reward her even as she had rewarded you. Read.
And double unto her double according to her work.
It's double. They said reward to her double. They said they did time work. Guess what, man? Esau, you know what? You came to work today, you're fired. Guess what? We gonna reward him double. Hey, guess what? Esau, you late today, you fired, and we put the whips on your back. And come back tomorrow and pull some more skin off of them. Hey, we got to reward them double, man. Hey, this is the recompense for them doing evil to us, man. The Lord said he gonna reward them double, man.
I'm gonna tell you, man, being in the truth, you grow in the truth, you get thick skin, because I know a lot of times it's like, y'all gonna beat them? Y'all really gonna beat the skin off of them? Y'all really gonna do this? You know how sisters can be. I know some strong sisters out there, but you know it's some squeamish too. Like, it's some squeamish brothers too, though. Like, how you gonna build 144,000? You don't wanna go cut a head off or something. Or you get a little paper cut, you squeamish around a little blood and stuff. Or even when, prime example, when brothers slaughter the lamb. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, them brothers was scared, boy. I was like that. I looked around. I thought all these brothers was tough. I'm trying to teach these brothers how to slaughter a lamb. I thought all these brothers was tough. We killed a lamb. Ooh, you killed the lamb. Brother, Passover. So we started dressing the lamb. Boy, that's a look. They looking at me. Oh, he country, brother. How you gonna be 144,000? You scared of this, though, brother? Y'all said y'all trying to be that. Brother, y'all scared to dress a lamb, man, like you say.
So you go dance their children, and they did us. Yeah. You go ravage their women, that's the most I say.
You finished that? Yeah. Revelation?
No, this it.
Yeah. Give me Sirach chapter 42, because I'm going to show y'all. It's in there. 45 and verse 42 and verse 5 right quick.
Sirach 42:5. And of merchants, indifferent selling, of much correction of children, and to make the side of an evil servant to bleed.
Read that last part again.
And to make the side of an evil servant to bleed.
And to make the side of an evil servant to bleed. Jump up to verse 1. Let's get the context.
Of these things be not thou ashamed.
Read that again.
Of these things be not ashamed.
Because guess what, man? I'm going to do a class on that too. We're going to go over all the curses. We're going to pull that thing up in roots, man. We don't want no insurrection up in this mud. But brothers and sisters need to see the visuals and the torture that they did cause our people, man. You know, the thing was horrible, man. You know, separating families, like we say, you might. That's why we see brothers all the time, like, damn, that brother look like me, man. It might be your brother, man. We don't know because they done separated us so badly, you know. But it's telling you we can't be ashamed of these things as we come back into our glory, man, because we're going to have to put the other nations in order, man. For us to rule this nation planet, we got to put down the people that's ruling it, man. There's just no way around it, man. These things don't come nice. Trump, can you please resign and no peace? I mean, with no harm done. No, it's not gonna be like that, man. He's got to get kicked out. They got to be put down and put in submission, man. So we can't be ashamed of these things. Like I said, to make the side of an evil servant to bleed. Now, a lot of times, hey, we'll have Ham do it. I know have Ham do it. Like I say, Ham beat Esau, then beat your damn self too. Well, yeah, you know. But these things has got to go on. There's just no way around it, man. Give me Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 22. Because we're going to have taskmasters too, man. Just like how they did. You may have an Edomite servant, have him beating his own people so he can be mad at him.
Then give him a piece of bread afterwards. Yeah. They can love you.
But these people destroyed us, man. That Willie Lynch, like how we go into it a lot. These, brothers and sisters, I buy these books, man. These things is very important to read. Make sure you're filtering it through the Bible. Everybody got a lot. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 22. This is the day that we're looking for, though. We don't care about the divisions of Esau. We want those things to come to pass, man. Read this out.
Ezekiel 37 and 22. And I will make them one nation.
He will do what?
Make them one nation.
That's the day that we're looking forward to, man. We're looking forward to us coming back together in order up under the Most High in Christ, man, up under the law, statutes, and commandments as one nation, man. This is the day that we're looking for. We're not in that day, but we getting closer and closer to that day, man. As we get closer and closer to being one nation, Esau getting closer and closer to being what? A divided nation, man. So it's changing places. Read on.
And I will make them one nation in the land.
Read on now.
Upon the mountains of Israel.
When it talks about the mountains of Israel, it's talking about the governments. Read on now.
And one king shall be king to them all.
Read that again now.
And one king shall be king to them all.
Who is this king? Yahweh. A lot of times brothers thinking it's King David. But no, it's not. King David don't have the authority over Christ. Read on up.
And they shall be no more two nations.
Read that again up.
And they shall be no more two nations.
We're not going to be no more two nations, northern and the southern tribe. Blacks and Hispanics, man. We're going to break down that wall of partition between what Christ did. But he's going to bring us back together as one strong army, like how we read in the book of Joel. This is the things that brothers and sisters need to be trying to do too. Reach out to one another, call one another, man. Build brothers and sisters up, man. Like we always say, we got, Israel. Read on, huh?
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
Neither shall we be divided into two kingdoms anymore, man. So guess what? As we rise, Israel gonna fall, man. And with that, we say shalom. Thank you to brothers and sisters that's listening to the class. Share these videos, man. You know, help us push this truth to the four corners of the earth. We always tell brothers and sisters to keep the commandments. So we always bring out commandments at the end of the class. What you got? 2 Corinthians 6 and 17.
18 and 15. Which one you said?
2 Corinthians 6 and 17. Oh, thanks, man. Israel gonna rise and Esau gonna fall. Thanks, man. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. I just thought that.
Second Edges. Right. We've been to Second Edges.
I know, right?
2 Corinthians 6:17. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, said the Lord.
The Most High is commanding us that we come out from among Esau. Don't be amongst them rioters. Don't be amongst them vandals out there. No. Be amongst your brethren of Israel that's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Read on out.
Said the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing.
Because the Bible is telling us don't touch the unclean thing. Esau is unclean, man. The traditions, anything that he touched turns unclean. So we don't deal in that type of matter, man. Read on out.
And I will receive you.
And once we do those things, turn back to the law, statutes, and commandments, then the Most High God will start to receive us, Israel. And with that,